Putin's ceasefire gambit, a smokescreen for continued aggression. The world watched with bated breath as Vladimir Putin, the enigmatic leader of Russia, responded to a proposed 30-day ceasefire in the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. His answer, a conditional agreement laced with demands that many see as unrealistic and designed to sabotage the truce, has drawn sharp criticism from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskky and sparked concern among international observers. Putin's motives remain shrouded in ambiguity, but his actions suggest a desire to maintain the upper hand in the conflict while appearing open to peace talks. Zelensky, leading a nation weary from months of brutal warfare, has accused Putin of playing a cynical game, using the ceasefire proposal as a smokescreen to mask his true intentions. He argues that Putin's demands, which include a halt to Ukrainian troop movements and a cessation of all military aid to Kyiv, are nothing short of preposterous. Accepting such conditions, Zelensky asserts, would be tantamount to surrender, leaving Ukraine vulnerable to further Russian aggression. At the heart of Putin's strategy, analysts suggest, is a desire to exploit the divisions within the international community and test the resolve of Ukraine's allies. By setting the bar for a ceasefire impossibly high, he seeks to sow discord among those who support Ukraine and undermine their efforts to provide Kyiv with the military and economic assistance it desperately needs. His actions, however, have only served to further galvanize international condemnation. The United States, which played a key role in brokering the ceasefire proposal, has condemned Putin's response as a cynical ploy and vowed to continue providing Ukraine with the support it needs to defend itself. President Donald Trump, known for his unpredictable foreign policy moves, has nonetheless taken a firm stance against Russia's aggression, threatening further sanctions and vowing to hold Putin accountable for his actions. The international community, while divided on the best course of action, appears united in its condemnation of Russia's actions and its support for Ukraine's sovereignty. Zelensky's dilemma: negotiating from a position of weakness. Zelensky, facing mounting pressure to find a way out of the devastating conflict, finds himself caught between a rock and a hard place. On the one hand, he is acutely aware of the need to silence the guns and bring an end to the bloodshed that has ravaged his country. The human cost of the conflict has been staggering, with countless lives lost and millions displaced from their homes. The Ukrainian people are weary of war, their resilience tested by months of relentless bombardment and uncertainty. On the other hand, Zelensky is acutely aware that negotiating with Putin from a position of weakness is fraught with risk. He has witnessed firsthand the Russian leader's penchant for exploiting any perceived vulnerability, his willingness to use military force to achieve his strategic objectives. To agree to Putin's demands, Zelensky fears, would be to hand him a Pyrrhic victory, one that would embolden him further and potentially pave the way for future aggression. As the clock ticks, Zelensky must weigh the potential benefits of a ceasefire against the very real risks of appeasement. A truce, however fragile, could provide a much-needed respite from the fighting, allowing for humanitarian aid to reach those in need and creating space for diplomatic efforts to gain traction. However, a ceasefire that comes at the price of Ukrainian sovereignty is a price that Zelensky may ultimately be unwilling to pay. The weight of the world, it seems, rests on the shoulders of this former comedian turned wartime leader. The decisions he makes in the coming days and weeks will have profound implications, not only for the future of Ukraine, but for the broader geopolitical landscape. The world watches and waits, hoping against hope that a path to peace can be found. The international community weighs in, a chorus of condemnation and cautious optimism. The international community has responded to Putin's ceasefire gambit with a mixture of condemnation and cautious optimism. The United States, leading the charge, has denounced Putin's demands as a non-starter, and accused him of using the ceasefire proposal as a smokescreen to buy time and regroup his forces. European leaders, while expressing support for the ceasefire in principle, have also voiced skepticism about Putin's true intentions. French President Emmanuel Macron, who has positioned himself as a key mediator in the conflict, has urged Putin to show genuine commitment to peace by withdrawing his forces from Ukraine and engaging in good-faith negotiations. The G7 nations in a joint statement condemned Russia's continued aggression and called on Putin to immediately cease all hostilities and withdraw his forces from Ukraine. They reiterated their unwavering support for Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity, and vowed to continue providing Kiev with the economic and military assistance it needs to defend itself. Despite the widespread condemnation of Putin's actions, some within the international community have expressed cautious optimism that the ceasefire proposal could still serve as a starting point for broader negotiations. They argue that even a temporary cessation of hostilities would be a positive development, providing a much-needed respite from the violence and creating space for diplomacy. The future of Ukraine hangs in the balance, hope, and uncertainty in a time of war. As the world grapples with the complexities of the conflict in Ukraine, one thing remains abundantly clear: the stakes could not be higher. The future of Ukraine, a nation caught in the crosshairs of great power rivalry, hangs precariously in the balance. The outcome of this conflict will have far-reaching consequences, shaping the geopolitical landscape for years to come. A Russian victory would not only deal a devastating blow to Ukraine's sovereignty, but would also embolden authoritarian leaders around the world, sending a chilling message that might makes right. Conversely, a Ukrainian victory, however improbable it may seem at this juncture, would represent a triumph for democracy and the rule of law. It would send a powerful message that aggression will not stand, and that the international community is prepared to defend the principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity. The path ahead is fraught with uncertainty, but amidst the darkness, there are glimmers of hope. The Ukrainian people, with their indomitable spirit and unwavering determination, have inspired the world with their resilience in the face of adversity. The international community, though divided on the best course of action, has shown a remarkable degree of unity in its condemnation of Russia's aggression and its support for Ukraine. The coming days and weeks will be critical. The choices made by leaders in Kyiv, Moscow, Washington, and other capitals around the world will determine whether this conflict escalates further, or whether a path to peace can be found. The world watches and waits, hoping against hope that wisdom and reason will prevail.